Having more money does not remove problems, it only upgrades them. That sounds wrong because most people believe money is the finish line. They think once they hit $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million, life suddenly becomes calm. But that is not how wealth works. Every level of net worth solves one problem, then creates a new one. At $0, you need breathing room. At $100,000, you need discipline. At $1 million, you need strategy. At 10 million, you need protection, and at 100 million, you need something most people never think about. You need purpose. This video is for education only. It is not personal financial advice, but by the end, you will understand what actually changes at every level of net worth, from $0 to 100 million. Let's start where most people really begin, zero. Marcus is 24 years old. He checks his bank account while standing in a grocery store aisle. His balance says $82.47. He has student loans, a credit card balance, a car payment, rent due next week, and a paycheck coming Friday that is already half gone before it arrives. At this level, money is not about freedom. Money is oxygen. Every decision feels heavy. Eggs or cereal, gas today or tomorrow, minimum payment or groceries. You are not thinking about index funds. You are thinking about making it to the next paycheck without something breaking. And here's the part people do not say out loud. At zero net worth, your relationship with money is mostly emotional. Fear makes decisions. Shame makes decisions. Stress makes decisions. That is why the first goal is not to get rich. The first goal is to stop being financially fragile. Because when one flat tire can ruin your whole month, your biggest investment is not stocks, it's stability. And this is where the first strange truth appears. The first life-changing number is not $1 million, it's $10,000. When Marcus finally saves his first $10,000, nothing dramatic happens. No one claps, no one sends a trophy. His apartment looks the same, his car looks the same, his clothes look the same. But his nervous system changes. A car repair is no longer a crisis. A late paycheck is no longer a disaster. A surprise bill no longer feels like an attack. That's the hidden power of cash. People online may say cash is lazy, and sometimes too much cash can slow your growth. But when you've never had breathing room before, cash is not lazy. Cash is protection. At $10,000, you are not wealthy yet. You are just harder to break. But this level has a trap. The first time people feel safe, they often start spending like they're rich. A better apartment, a better phone, a nicer car, more eating out, more subscriptions, more little upgrades that don't feel dangerous alone, but together they quietly erase the progress. That's why the real lesson at $10,000 is not just saving money, it's learning to keep money. Because the next level requires a different skill. At $50,000 to $100,000 net worth, life starts to look stable from the outside. Take someone like Nina. She has a decent job. She contributes to her 401k. She has a small brokerage account. She understands what an index fund is. She pays her bills on time. From the outside, she looks responsible, and she is. But one night, she opens a spreadsheet and runs the numbers. If she keeps saving at the same rate, investing at the same rate, and earning at the same rate, she will probably be okay. But okay is not the same as free. That's the tension of this level. You are no longer drowning, but you are not building fast enough to feel in control. This is where many people hit the competence plateau. They become good at surviving, good at budgeting, good at paying bills, good at avoiding dumb mistakes, but they haven't yet learned how wealth really grows. Because a salary can help you live, but ownership is what builds net worth. That ownership can be many things: retirement accounts, index funds, home equity, a small business, real estate, skills that raise your income, a side project that creates extra cash flow. The point is not that everyone must become an entrepreneur. The point is that net worth grows when you own assets, not just when you earn a paycheck. And once that clicks, the game changes. At $100,000 to $500,000 net worth, money starts becoming a machine. Not a huge machine yet, but a real one. Daniel is 33. He has $180,000 in net worth. Some of it is in retirement accounts, some in a brokerage account, some in home equity. He also has a small weekend business that brings in extra income. For the first time, money is moving even when he is not working. Dividends, market growth, debt going down, equity going up, business cash flow coming in. This is where people start to understand compounding. Compounding is when your money begins earning money, and then that money earns more money. It sounds boring until you see it happening in your own account. But at this level, creates social pressure. Your friends upgrade their cars, they take expensive trips, they move into nicer apartments, they start spending like their income will only go up forever. And you start asking a hard question: do I want to look successful now or become free later? That question decides a lot, because the gap between what you earn and what you keep becomes your wealth engine. If that gap is small, your net worth moves slowly. If that gap is large, your future starts changing. But then comes the level everyone talks about, $1 million. And this is where the biggest illusion begins, because $1 million sounds like the finish line. It sounds like rich. It sounds like freedom. But then you actually break it down. A person with $1 million net worth may not have $1 million sitting in cash. Maybe part of it is home equity, part of it is in a retirement account, part of it is in a business, part of it is invested in the market. So yes, they are a millionaire on paper, but they may not feel like the millionaire people imagine. And if you try to live off a $1 million portfolio, a rough 4% withdrawal idea gives you about $40,000 per year before taxes and inflation. That is meaningful. That is powerful. But in many places, that is not private jet money. That is not mansion money. That is, I never think about money again money. It's freedom from panic, not freedom from math. This is why $1 million is not the destination. It's proof that the system works. It proves you can earn, save, invest, avoid lifestyle traps, and let time do part of the work. But after $1 million, the question changes. You stop asking, can I afford this? And you start asking, where should this capital go? At $1 million to $5 million, money becomes a resource. For someone like Olivia, emergencies no longer control life. She can leave a bad job. She can take a career risk. She can help family without destroying herself. She can take time off and not fall apart. This is where wealth starts buying time, not just things. But the decisions also become more complex. How much should stay in stocks? How much in cash? Should she buy real estate? Should she sell part of the business? How does she reduce taxes? Does she need an estate plan? Is her money too concentrated in one place? At lower levels, the goal is growth. At this level, the goal becomes growth with protection. Because a bigger net worth gives you more options, but it also gives you more expensive ways to make mistakes. And this becomes even truer at $5 million to $10 million. At this level, the game changes again. You are not just saving and investing anymore. You are allocating capital. That means deciding where money should sit, what risk it should take, and what return is worth the stress. Someone at this level may see private deals, business partnerships, real estate projects, tax strategies, and investment opportunities most people never hear about. But more access does not always mean better opportunities. Sometimes it just means more sophisticated ways to lose money. That's the trap. A person with $6 million can still make a bad investment. They can still get overconfident. They can still put too much money into one deal. They can still trust the wrong person. At this level, defense becomes as important as offense. Insurance matters. Taxes matter. Legal structure matters. Estate planning matters. Liquidity matters. Because wealth is not just about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, protect, and transfer. Then you cross into 8 figures, $10 million to $30 million. This is where money becomes more than a number. It becomes a signal. A person at this level is not just wealthy, they may be close to the top 1% depending on the data, location, and household situation. But the lifestyle isn't the most interesting part. The access is. At this level, reputation becomes an asset. If your track record is strong, people bring you opportunities. They invite you into rooms. They ask your opinion. They want your capital, but they also want your judgment. This is where wealth starts creating opportunities because of who knows you. But this level also comes with distance. Not because you become better than people, you do not, but your problems become harder to explain. Your friends may be worried about rent increases. You may be worried about tax exposure, business succession, private investments, and how to structure money for the next generation. Both problems are real, but they are not the same conversation. At $30 million to $100 million, wealth becomes infrastructure. This is ultra-high net worth territory. Now the money is not mainly about what you can buy. It's about what can keep moving without you. Family offices, trusts, foundations, businesses, private investments, advisors, lawyers, tax planning, giving strategies, legacy planning. At this level, the question is no longer, can I afford the house? The question becomes, what will this money do after I am gone? That's a different kind of pressure. Because money at this level has reach. It can fund companies, support causes, influence communities, create jobs, protect generations, or quietly disappear through bad decisions, lawsuits, taxes, family conflict, and poor planning. At $100 million, lifestyle is no longer the main story. Purpose is. Because when money can buy almost anything, buying more things stops feeling like the answer. The deeper question becomes, who are you without the chase? And that brings us back to the beginning, back to Marcus in the grocery store, back to the $82.47 bank balance, back to the person wondering if more money will finally fix everything. And the truth is, more money can fix many problems. It can reduce stress, it can create safety, it can buy time, it can open doors, it can protect your family. But money does not remove the need for wisdom. It only makes your decisions louder. At $0, you need breathing room. At $10,000, you need stability. At $100,000, you need discipline. At $1 million, you need strategy. At $10 million, you need protection. And at $100 million, you need purpose. Every level solves one problem and creates another. So the goal is not just to get rich. The goal is to become the kind of person who can handle the next level before you reach it. And now I want to ask you one question. What net worth level are you trying to reach next? And what problem do you think that level will finally solve?